talk about it, yeah, we get it poppin'. Every Wednesday, we essential, we are the only options. Who they touch with their topics, even if it is toxic. Might be like a podcast, we gon' be here to talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Like a podcast, we gon' be here. Like a podcast, we gon' be here.
Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Life Be Life and podcast. Back up on the scene, nah, I mean, I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J. Still in the building like I ain't never left, and it feels so good. Bro, what's happening, man? How you doing this evening, bro?
Man, you know how it's been, man.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick second.
Been different.
Got a couple of shout outs to give, man. Want to shout out my bro, that dude over there, real quick on his anniversary. That's why we went on last week, man. Just had to let him do his nuptials, you know what I'm saying, and renegotiate them vows real quick, you know what I'm saying? Another shout out to my boy Eric and Kelly. Their anniversary is yesterday. I believe they hitting on a dub now. So, hey, we right behind you.
Yeah.
We right behind you.
Congratulations.
Hey, man,
a vegan toast. Sunny D with cranberry. Toast to y'all. All the anniversaries. Toast. Sunny D and cranberry. Y'all ain't got the word. We right.
So, the last recognition I want to give, man, before we move on, anybody who been over the house, they knew my dog Belle. Belle was cool, calm, collect. She knew tricks, you know what I'm saying? I taught her all of that from the age of 1. Belle took ill, man, a couple of weeks ago, and it got to the point to where I physically had to like carry her outside so she can go to the bathroom and stuff. And I was just like, yo, she's been too good of a dog to allow her to stay in that state. So we decided to take her to the vet last Friday and send her on her journey. Yeah. So, hey, if y'all know, y'all know. If y'all knew Belle, y'all knew Belle, man. Like, hey, coolest dog on the block for sure.
Yeah.
So before tears start falling, man, let's move along. So the show tonight, bro.
Yeah. So look. So 2 weeks ago we dropped part 1, secured investments. We covered a lot of ground with it. This is part 2. We have behind the scenes that one player POV, if you will. And so instead of, you know what I'm saying, an old head like my bro and a not so old head, I'm capping. 2 old cats, man, that's trying to tell y'all what it is. Like, let's just take it straight to the source. So that's what we did. So we have a special guest joining us tonight on Secured Investments, part 2. That's going to shed the real on what kids are experiencing, some challenges, things that us as parents wish we knew and don't know how to start the conversation. The conversation is being had from the kid to us, and we don't even know how to respond because it's so shocking and we haven't experienced it. There's just so many different scenarios and probabilities behind it. And hopefully this again is going to be a great introduction on how we can talk to our kids. We're going to get the secret sauce, bro.
Yeah, but understand that as we have this guest on, permission has been granted by parents.
True.
We make sure that we're covered, and we also make sure that we cover our guests as well. But before we say another word, the views and opinions expressed on the Life Be Life and podcast are solely those of the artists, producers, guests, and hosts of the show. Any numbers, stats, or stated resources that are given, we do ask that you verify that information for yourself. The views and opinions.
We ain't trying to get sued.
Hey, I ain't the one to gossip, so you didn't hear it from me. So, man, look, hey, I mean, if y'all ready, we ready.
Let's get it.
You do the introduction, bro. I'm about to go ahead and bring her on stage real quick.
Absolutely. Coming to the stage, have an awesome young lady. All jokes aside, very intelligent. And so as we began to kind of think about this show and really wanted to get a first-hand perspective, this was the person that came to mind just because of the ability to speak her mind, to articulate her words, to be able to take the things that she's going to think and make it to where a parent can actually receive it. You know, it's a conversation piece. So that being the case, I introduce to the world Miss Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Cannot complain. So just everybody's already aware. Go ahead and let everybody know what grade are you in so we can kind of get an idea of who we're dealing with.
I am in ninth grade. I'm a freshman.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, little bit of background, Jordan. Tell us what would you like? What do you dream to be? What are you aspiring to be when you become of age?
When I become of age, it takes a lot of science for what I want to do. I would love to be a forensic scientist and like as a hobby in the background, just for like a little extra money, maybe something music related.
Awesome. Like what's the connection with the forensic science? Like what's the interest like on that end?
I'm a big science nerd. I do prefer it over math. I'm taking
Awesome.
a class called biomedical, which kind of like feeds off that future that I want to
Okay.
give myself.
So being that freshman and you being in school, what kind of support do you feel like your school has for you to get that success and get that career goal?
Since it's high school, it's going to be like a little bit bigger than middle and elementary. So we do actually have therapists that are not that type of counselor. It's more
Mhm.
like complex when it comes to mental health and things like that. So I'm going to say therapists. Of course, we have counselors and we have some principals for each grade level.
Awesome. What would you like to see them have that would assist you? Like, is there any barriers to where you go into school and you like, you know what? It's real difficult for me to get to my goal because they don't have like what is that thing you would like to see?
I would like to see maybe less talking during class. It really like drives off my train of thought. So maybe less of that or snickering behind my back.
Got you. So, bro, I want to do this because there anybody that has had an opportunity to either catch the archives from 2 weeks ago or seeing it live or all the platforms that we're on. And we'll talk about that later, how y'all can continue to watch the show in either previous and future episodes. But Jordan, you said some things 2 weeks ago that really just kind of stood out. Um, we talked about the changes and things in school and where we were. And so one of the things that you had made reference to was the things that the government has lied about. And we wanted to have you on specifically to be able to like go a little bit deeper into that. So when you think about the challenges that you have at school, and you mentioned the snickering and things, the laughter and the disruptions, what would you say is one of the biggest things that is happening inside the schools that's making it difficult for you?
Let's see. So the biggest problem is school fights. Now, I haven't gone to any personally, but when those happen, it makes our school more on high alert because the school fights also tend to get into social media, and then we are very how do I say it's very limited to certain things, and a lot of things is we no longer have a school bell thanks to that. So I would say maybe school fights because that has definitely given us lesser options than what we had in the past that will
Mhm.
eventually lead us into the future.
So, I have a 12-year-old and he's coming home every day and he's like, oh, it was another fight. It was another fight. What are y'all fighting about? And I know it's not you, but what is going on behind these school doors and behind the walls that has people? How y'all fighting on the first day of school?
Pettiness.
Like, what is causing this? Like, when you see all these fights and you step back and you look at it, like, what do you think is fueling that anger or that get back?
Just pettiness girls, mostly girls, not knowing how to let the drama slide. Just let it go. It is in the past. No need to keep it going. Just let it stay where it is and you move forward.
How do you do that though? Like how do you let it go? And I'm asking you as an adult, because straight up, Jordan, I struggle with that. I got people to this day that I don't even like, and I can't even remember why I don't like them. I just know I'm not supposed
And
to like them. How do you let that
so
slide?
I mean, forgetting is going to be, it's not going to take you all the way, but maybe not associating yourself with that person, not even letting them get into your thoughts, clouding your positivity, making it negative. So I would say avoid that person or anything that is connected to them, because forgetting is not going to take you all the way. You actually have to take the steps.
Yeah, that's key. And bro, I know you got a lot, and just kind of going back to this age group that she's in and that age bracket, and then hearing and reflecting on the episode of mental health that you kicked off, talking about a lot of the things that you experienced. Like, you're hearing what she's saying when it's pertaining to the fights and everything. Like, what are you
yeah.
feeling with it?
So something that there's a couple of things that she's already said that kind of really jumps out at me, and I want to point out real quick, if I may. So the first thing she said is the distractions. And we have to understand that some kids, like this well articulated young lady is actually coming to school trying to do her thing because, like we said last week, in 20 years, she may solve the case of somebody that, had a grudge against your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friend. The other thing that she said is sometimes you got to learn how to put it to the side. And bro, I know we've talked about this a few times because right now, where I am in life, I feel like I have more to lose than I do to gain.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that young people like her, because they're not few and far in between, but some of
Hmm.
them just settle into the cracks and be out the way just so they can get by and get what they need out of school. But I really feel like a young person's mentality is starting to become that as well. Hey, I have more to lose than I do to gain, because if I get put out of school, because I have a plan. And Jordan, thank you for having a plan even as a freshman, because now you're goal oriented. But having that plan of saying, yo, if I lose a week, a semester, a year of school, that's gonna set me back exponentially to the
Yeah.
college I'm trying to get into, because it's gonna be on my transcripts.
Hmm.
So it really resonates with me. So Jordan, I'm gonna ask you this, and I just want you to be frank. When you when you go to school in the mornings, are you dropped off or do you catch the bus?
I catch the bus.
Okay. So from the moment that you walk out of your home, and I do trust and feel, I'm trying to paint a picture, y'all, here real quick, so bear with me. So
Absolutely.
when you walk out your house in the mornings, when you leave your house, you feel safe, correct?
Yes, I feel safe.
So once you cross your threshold to the door, locking the door behind you, you know what I'm saying, walking to the bus stop, you felt safe. How safe do you feel on the bus stop? And you can answer these in order: on the bus stop, on the bus, and at school. What is your safe? What is your comfort level?
So on the bus stop, I feel safe as I have neighbors that are family friends, so I know they can see me, so they make sure I don't get into trouble. On the bus, like riding to and from school, I do feel safe as I sit with people that I know I can trust and do not get into trouble. For example, my best friend. And going to school, I feel safe, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to make it to class on time and everything. I feel pretty safe. We now have a lot of hall monitors, so it's it's pretty good.
That's what's up, man. And even as you feel safe, and I'm not trying to pump, I'm not trying to prime you, I'm not trying to guide you in any direction. I want you to tell me your truth. Even as you feel safe because you've taken measures to ensure your safety in all aspects on the bus stop. Hey, for those parents that are looking out, it still takes a village. Much appreciated. Um, on the bus, you've already built a bubble for yourself at school. you've built a bubble for yourself. If you can, and if you can't, I understand. Can you kind of speculate a little bit just by seeing it, how other children can function not having that same bubble that you have, and they feel the safety that you feel?
Like, elaborate?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, again, you've created your own little bubble for yourself at school. So, you feel safe. There may be other children that may be shunned upon or kind of stick to themselves. Do you believe that they feel as safe as you feel, or do you think that they have other worries that are constantly going through their heads?
They might have other worries. Again, I can't exactly speak for them because I'm not them personally as myself. But I would say they might have worries that are not just in the back of their head, like they don't think about it. They might think as they walk in their hallways in a class with people that probably bully. So I would say maybe they do have worries and can't give the type of safety measures that I have. But I would say that they have some worries, but I hope that they can fix them.
That's what's up, man. I just want y'all to hear, because again, as this young lady has a plan laid out for herself, everybody ain't coming from the same background. Because she did say that there are interruptions and distractions in school. So everybody's not coming from that same background. But bro, I'm gonna kick it back to you. See what you got next.
Yeah, actually, the time is we about a minute past that pull-up time. It's a 8:16, so it is that time, lifers. We're gonna get some bills out the way, and we'll be back.
Yep, vibe with us real quick. Y'all ready? Let's see. Oh, what should I do today? You know what? We're gonna go with this.
Yo, this is Ryan the Gamer, owner of them Snack Boys. You are now tapped in to the Life Be Life podcast.
Take care about Team Soup. Life be life. No fail.
Hey yo, life be lifing, so let's talk about it. Tune in now.
Man, if y'all haven't been tuned in to the Life Be Lifing podcast, y'all sleeping.
Back up on the scene, nah, I mean.
This the different grind. I am just on a different time. Yeah, this the different grind. I am just on a different time. I got godly ambition. I got godly ambition. All prayer, all grace, no wishes. I got godly ambition. Yeah. When you grind for the Lord, you ain't got time to waste. I got time today. I got time to pray. I got time to talk. I'ma walk the walk. Never perfect though. No, it's worth it though. I'ma keep it 100. That's real talk, no frontin'. Might let it blow like a trumpet. Got spoiled for who want it. Unconcealed, I ain't worried about a pill. Independent, nope. I ain't looking for no major deal. Cause I pull up with ambition. Even if the top be missing. No, that don't change my vision. Still on that great commission. Still trusting God's provision. Still preaching He is risen. Still committed to what was written. Don't care about opinions, I know where I'm living. Yeah. This the different grind. I am just on a different time. Yeah, this the different grind. I am just on a different time. I got
sir.
Do. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the tune. Hey, Toy just be doing her thing. We go get
Yeah.
that new track from her, man. We gonna try to keep y'all with the new music. Um, so as we kick off this next segment, Jordan, one of the things that really stood out to me last week, and as you see, I was posting the comments. We got other comments tonight. So if y'all watching, streaming, wherever, post some questions, some comments, whatnot. We'll be sure to get them posted. So last week, Jordan, you mentioned things about the government and what they lied about. And I'm not expecting you to get out your rim, but tell me your thoughts on those comments from last week.
Okay. So my thoughts are, as we've talked about laws, we've talked about bills, different things that should be passed, and we haven't seen change. There hasn't been anything that has been taken up to do that, like no measure is being taken up. And it's quite unfair that the government gets to say these things to us as a community or state, country, if you will. Um, yeah, it just really baffles my mind that they say that we are ready. Yes, we can do the change, but we haven't seen it actually in action or it hasn't been taken effect.
Ooh wee. Hey, you know what, bro? Because I'm a lot of fire. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
No, stay there. Stay
Hey,
there.
because
Yep.
hey, she's very intelligent. Like I'm feeling it.
And
So
like I say, and we express the same things, but it's an adult level, meaning the things that are relevant to our lifestyle as far as how we pay bills or family care, things like that. But this is coming from
yeah,
somebody that's a totally different age bracket and is seeing some
yeah.
discrepancies. So what do you feel, Jordan, at right there at that point that you're saying, you know what, y'all said this, you said we can do this. How do you think that can change, and what are you positioning yourself and prepared to do to contribute to the change?
I feel like there's no exact feeling. I mean, I'm not going to say just sad or mad because those are basic, but it's
Okay.
like a much more deeper part as a Black child, that there are more things that are not being taken for our community as well, for our safety. And there's a lot of things that I would like to do to like take to action, more bills, more laws as we have approached this part in life.
What you think,
So
bro?
hey, so check it out because I ain't bet. Hey, we didn't start the fire.
Let's go.
So my thing is, Jordan, when as you were commenting last week, and I don't know if you were watching or listening to audio, but you seen we were throwing them up on screen just for people to see. Like this is not us just saying what we want to say. Um, it blows my mind that as a young person, and it's now making me start to look at young people a little bit different. And it's not in a bad way, because of course, we when we get into our 40s, almost 50, we look at young people as how I was when I was 15, 16. I was naive. There was
Yeah,
no internet. You know what I'm saying? Everything was trial by error.
yeah.
All this information is out there now, for you to speak upon, for you to dissect, for you to act upon. So, is there something in particular? Because I know you mentioned, the laws in the black schools, and I mentioned that last week because, for instance, how some other St. Charles districts actually got a federal grant from Governor Parsons to
Mhm.
institute different security features inside of their schools now, to where the teachers actually have panic buttons and things of that nature. Is there something in particular that you're looking for, that you're hoping, or that something that you would change?
I'm looking for as well that panic button in that school because currently we do not have those installed in our classrooms. And if there was an actual emergency, it would be very hard to call for help because a teacher in one of our classrooms would have to travel all the way for the speaker button. And in an emergency, that would be like the most inefficient type of way. So we would need that. I would suggest more hall monitors, like not as a bad type of way, like a student, because a student wouldn't really get it done. But I would say as an adult to help around as well, because that's one thing we do need more of. Or when I was talking about the panic button, a speaker button that would go to the intercom that gets straight to the main office instead of them having to do it on a computer.
One more thing before I slide it back to you, bro.
Yep.
Thank you for confirming that, because in my eyes, I see the same divide as the DSAT program provided in the early 90s. I kind of feel like, and if I'm wrong, hey, y'all got a comment button. But I feel like that once again, society is trying to put more worth on a certain class of students versus understanding that all students need the same safety, the same care, and the same respect. You know what I'm saying? Because 20 years from now, those students are going to remember the lack of in their era. And I'm gonna leave that alone.
Hey, but real quick though, I'm even a believer that a lot of the stuff that's happening now, like outside of the schools, the young adults that's like 24 to 27 is wilding out, and we're seeing, you know, the mass violence, the mass school, this, that. Those are the students that were treated poorly, that didn't have, that was talked about, the snickering that Jordan mentioned earlier, the disruption. Those were the kids that were trying to be successful and do the right thing, and you would not allow it to happen. And so now they've become disruptive. So early segment of this show, we talked about how much fighting is happening in schools. Jordan mentioned that she feels extremely safe when she leaves her house. She feels safe on the bus stop because of surrounding. And so then when you get to schools, and now the narrative changes to where I wish we had, we need, that same level of protection isn't there. And it's because of other students. So this goes back to us as parents. And yes, it is the kids that's in the schools doing the fighting, this, that, and the third. But the same way that she's sitting here on this platform and she's able to speak her mind and say, these are the things that I want to do when it pertains to my future. This is who I want to be. I want to be a forensic scientist. If I could pass laws to do this in the schools, this is what I would do. And that happens from good parenting. So first off, shout out to your parents, mom and dad, doing an awesome job. Y'all continue to do what y'all doing. The other piece of that is if mom is there, tell her, stick her head in. Mom, where you at? Great job, mom, dad, mom. Hey, now. We appreciate you so much. All jokes aside, awesome job in what you do. And the reality is, this is what is very important. And if this happened more often and in more households, then the topic that we're having tonight, we probably would have never had to address it. So it starts with parents. A direction I want to kind of turn to. So Jordan, you mentioned the things that you would love to see in the school, and you specified that speaker that can communicate to every classroom to alert somebody, because the seconds are precious. So in my profession, I know a whole lot of business owners, a whole lot of school districts, a whole lot of people and directors on the school board. What I want you to do is this. We're gonna make some noise. We about to make some noise. When you go to school tomorrow, I want you to get with your counselor and you just ask a simple question. Hey, when you guys try to get things approved, like the speakers and things that are in the classroom, who do you talk to? When you get that information, you know how to reach me, and we're gonna make some noise. We're gonna make some noise. So let's find out. Let's find out how much it costs. And I don't care if you have to lead a petition at your school yourself and get every kid to sign it. We're going to get enough signatures together and get the same things in every school, because that is a major thing. If this is the part of the investments, bro, that people are missing out in the title. She is somebody's investment. Why wouldn't you secure your most precious investment? We have alarms on our houses. We have alarms on our cars. I have an alarm at my desk. We have our firearms are protected. Everything is protected, but the most precious people, the ones that Whitney sang her little soul about and said she believed they the future. You understand me? Whitney, rest up. You know, like this, bro. Whitney, rest up. So the same children that are the future, we won't protect them.
Yeah.
What do we do? Jordan, what do we need to do to get all the kids in your school talking about their level of safety and the concern for safety? What is that conversation like? What is that conversation like right now in your school?
It would have to start as drama on social media. It would have to be, she said this, no, he said this. Wait a minute, but I heard blah, blah, blah from so-and-so. It would have to start like this, but no, I want it to start not like a flyer, not like a banner, not me standing on the lunch table being like, hey, I need this. No, we're gonna take the actual measure. We're gonna take action. We're gonna actually take the steps. We're not gonna cheat our way through. We're gonna take the hard way. You might want to go the easy way, but the easy way is not going to get you that far. It's only going to take you partially the way, because you have to do the rest of the work. So I would like for them to at least hear me out first before they say the negative. I would at least want to get my best friends involved, like my group, my crew, my supporting system, my team. And then I would go to teachers. Hopefully they can get it out to the counselor, principal, cross my fingers, the school board, for it to be done.
So when we start to think about a lot of the different committees, teams, groups that are a part of schools, whether it's football teams, basketball teams, drama club, drill team, you have all these different things. If your school has things like drama and debate team, do you have that in your school? Like, outside of sports, is there something that has already been organized by the school that kids can come together and kind of debate or talk on a different level?
We do have a debate team, and we do have a podcast.
Dope. So in the midst of being that change and kind of leading different things, for any teenagers, high schoolers, even junior high kids, elementary kids that are watching, parents that are watching, and you're hearing your child say, I want to make an impact. Hey, if they got that drama department already at the school, somebody has formed it. Somebody knows how to form extracurricular activities after school. So maybe that network of friends, your best friends, your squad that you talked about, if your squad came together and got with that person of authority that knows how to put those groups together, maybe you all could start that committee that could start to gather funds and promote school safety and school, even if nothing else, school awareness. What do we do? How many kids do you see how many girls or even we'll just say kids in general, on your bus stop, do you see while you're waiting on the bus that have both AirPods in their ears? Or headphones?
Both AirPods in their ears, giant headphones.
Exactly.
They can't hear a single thing. If somebody screaming at them, snatch them, they would not know.
And that's also a part of being safe. And so even in those measures, understand that school safety is much more than just what happens inside of those doors. It's what happens the moment that you leave out of your door. And so ultimately, what we need to figure out is how can we ensure your safety from the moment you turn key out of your crib until you turn key and walk back in it. So Those are the things that it just sounds like in the midst of you doing. I'm even gonna question if you really want to be a forensic scientist, because it sounds like you got a whole lot of political, a little bit of activist. You sound like that some laws and stuff need to change.
Yeah, big
But
facts.
I'm really concerned and curious, like what with everything going on in these schools and the unfortunate events that are happening countrywide, like what is what is the conversation like in your school between the teachers, the students, that this is our plan? Like, how comfortable are you or confident that there's a plan that can provide safety to students?
I'm not as confident, if I'm going to be totally honest, because as our principal talks about these things, nothing has changed. We're still on high alert because I'm pretty sure we're not the only school, but we do have metal detectors. You will get searched with the Garrett, the wand, things going through your backpack and everything. Like, we're very on high alert. So they would rather live in fear in high protection than take that part to get off of the protection to make us feel safe again.
Mm, that's different. Um, I'm interested in kind of just learning. Like, I know with my kids, there's things that they'll say to me. There's things that I have to. It's almost like pulling teeth. When you're talking to your friends or just conversations you hear in the hallways in the classrooms, what are some things that kids your age, young adults your age, are talking about? They wish they could tell their parents. They wish they could talk to us about. What are some things that we can just start that conversation to help whatever that they're going through? Like, what is happening that is causing so much hurt and grief and this burden that we're seeing young adults now have, to where people are just depressed? What's happening?
What's happening is grades. Now, of course, people are not going to be proud of an F. No one's going to be proud of failing. We get that. But there are certain times where you have to come clean, because I promise you, most of the time when you explain why you have that F in a certain class, mostly a math class or science, then your parent or a teacher, if you admit to them, they can help you take that next step into making it better. They can help you. And apart from grades, of course, it also would be very petty things, as if why I don't have a man or why I don't have a girl. When I say to that, like in my head, not out loud, I say self-love, because if you can't love yourself without feeling like you need that man or that girl, then I don't think I'm going to trust you to love them if you cannot first love your head to your toes.
Bro, I see the wheels turning. What you thinking?
I man, I'm floored because it's crazy how, as she's speaking as a young adult, these are things that we're still facing as old adults.
Yeah.
And just having that self-love and that self-care, because self-preservation, because if I don't preserve self, I can do nothing for anybody else.
Yeah, word up. You're supposed to
So,
put the mask over yourself. They tell you in an
man,
emergency, you mask up yourself first.
so Jordan, man, I know everything is, I mean, hey, I appreciate it. I just appreciate the transparency of, telling all aspects. So for you personally, as you go to your next grade, sophomore, junior, senior, if you had the ability to make the change, to start like a mentoring, because we know that there are some damaged kids in school. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. they're just dealing with the environment that they're dealing with. What can you tell other students to, can't say to do, but how to maybe ease that burden? And you yourself, as start to become an upperclassman, what are some things that, if you had the power, that you would implement?
I would implement I would probably implement more programs to hear our students. And of course we, like, our teachers want us to feel heard, our therapists, counselors want to be heard, but what they hear, instead of the full detail of why I do what I do, is just the simple many things that in that current moment don't matter. Like, there is a more
Mhm.
deep, a more and a more internal mental thought. Like, I would have a program to hear not just depressed or anxiety students, PTSD, but also students that are trying to come out as part of the LGBTQ community. I would also want them to feel heard as well, as they are also people. As we are all humans, we all feel these things, and we want to make sure that our problems are heard so we can keep going to afford a better future.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
dope.
that's dope.
Real quick, bro, not to cut you off. So right there, so you had mentioned previously that grades, when we were talking about just some distractions and how can people do this or that. And then you spoke to, possibly just somebody looking for a different relationship, and they're so thirsty after a little boy or a little girl that the grades don't matter. But what about those students that are living a different lifestyle and they can't have that conversation because they know that students will this or that? Like, have you seen scenarios to where maybe there's a group of kids that they're doing poorly in school because they can't be them full selves to learn or study? Like, what are there any other challenges that you've noticed other than like grades or just relationship? Like, what are some barriers that are keeping people from being as successful in school as you've had the opportunity to be?
Bullying, mostly the bullying. Now, I'm not just talking about just like the simple snickering, like, oh, he. I'm talking about the full on bullying that in
Okay.
a class, you raise your hand, you get that answer right, teacher points you out, good job, so and so. They
Mhm.
keep laughing. And I'm like, well, what is so funny? The fact that I'm getting this right and you're technically copying off of my intelligence? Or is it the fact that you could never do it for yourself? And from the snickering to the verbal bullying, you have what? What?
Woo! That's
What?
cold because that's cold. Are you? I'm not even gonna say it right. Are you? Is you mad because you not smart like me? So you gonna make fun of me because you slow because I got it right? That's cold. You can't throw. You
Hey,
can't throw rocks. You can't throw
hey,
rocks at heaven, man.
hey,
You can't
shots
throw rocks
fired,
at
man. Shots
heaven.
fired.
Yeah, I
Straight up.
love that. I love that. Is that something that you or your friends have ever experienced? Like, being, I ain't never have to worry about that. I wasn't never smart enough for school to be made fun of. I didn't have to worry about that. But is it something that that they're snickering a little bit because, hey, you're just that smart?
Yes, especially in my algebra class. Now, I've been nicknamed the nerd. The good reasons, because, well, I'm very smart and I hang out with other nerds, aka my best friends. And also the bad reasons by them just looking at my clothes, by me wearing a collar, me wearing these glasses right here on my face every day, thinking I am the typical nerd. Or the fact that I can answer math questions surprisingly faster than you. It doesn't even take me that full minute. I'm over here jotting down on my paper while they're sitting there just frozen still, either waiting for a peer to get it right or waiting for the teacher to get it right because they don't want to do the work.
Can I tell you a secret? And bro, you can worry upon this. All the kikis and kakas in the background because you so smart and they're making fun of you, there's gonna come a day when everybody is seeking an intelligent person for their workplace, to be a mentor, to look after them, to follow in the church. Don't no man want a dumb wife. Straight, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want my wife calling me every moment for something that makes zero sense. So I made sure I picked an intelligent wife. You see what I did there?
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. You
Indeed.
see, hey, you see my big ups? Yeah, I got a smart wife. And then the fact that
Hey,
she married me really proves how smart Shorty was. So,
check this out.
yep,
It's 8:46, man.
yeah.
Jordan, I want to give the stage freely to you for the next
Mhm.
couple of minutes to pour your heart out, your plea, your concerns, your goals, whatever it is. These next couple of minutes, pour your heart out. You know what I'm saying? And the floor is yours.
Well, I plead for peace. I plead for love. I plead that as I grow up, I can walk out my house without having to clutch my keys like claws, for me not having to look left, right, behind me for any stranger. I want that. I want to to not have to turn on the TV, turn on the news, and see another little black girl taken. I want to do this for my skin community, for my fellow age group community, because I know if I was a little white girl, I would be plastered all over the news. But then again, with my skin color, that wouldn't happen. I would be accused as the victim. So I would also go for racial profiling as well as gender equality, because I don't really believe in the boys are smarter than girls. I believe that we are all smart equally. Yes, maybe boys do get it a little faster than women, but that doesn't mean that they're not trying. And it doesn't mean that the men are just being overpowering. It means that we women also have a voice too. As I say in a quote from a video, where are the women in this situation? Where are the women's voices here? Because they are also suffering, and not just one gender, both, all genders. And then another thing is, I also want to go to my abused people. Now, I'm not myself, but I see millions of kids at my school as I'm walking in, and I see them with terrified look on their faces. Now, not because of bullies, they're not scared of our bomb threats or our school shooting threats. They are scared of what will happen to them when they walk out with a bad grade. So to them, I just want to say that your skin, that's not paper. You don't cut it. Your book is, your neck is not a coat. Do not hang it. Your size, your skin, your height, that is not a book. Don't judge it, because, well, your life, that's not a movie. So please do not end it. And that is a quote from my article, Love Yourself.
Hey, I don't need no soapbox behind that. Those was
That's a wrap.
bars. Um, man, Jordan, I just we're gonna take these next couple of minutes just to pour into you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As adults as well. Mom, number one, thank you. We just really appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you allowing your child to come on with two men and just, you know what I'm saying, talk about what's going on. Jordan, we appreciate your boldness. Because here's the thing, that those last couple of minutes of what you said is what people don't really think about. Regardless of skin color, race, creed, religion, sexual orientation, everybody got feelings. And as you stated, some parents can be overbearing that do not allow those kids to come home with a lesser grade without getting to the root problem. I remember when my son was getting F's, I tried to turn into the Hulk, but I had to understand without getting to, hey, what's going on? Let's talk to the teachers. Let's make sure we attend parent teacher conference. Let's see if there's other resources to help him to allow him to bring those grades up. And he did.
Yeah.
I'm speechless, young lady. I just really, really, really thank you. No, bro, probably crying, so he went off off the earth for a minute. But for you yourself, man, as you were doing your thing,
Why you gotta put my
just
business out in the street?
you said what?
Why you trying to put my business out in the street?
I ain't trying to put your business out. I was playing, but since you just
Because the
confirmed
lights
it,
first off, the lights had went out because my camera and my ring. That's why you need mind your. I got allergies. Mind your business.
I mean, I'm just saying, since you turned off your camera, and then I heard that little in the background. So you know what I'm saying. I put two and two. You good, bro? Turn on your camera. Come
Man,
on.
can I tell you, so look, so real rap. This is the reality.
Yeah.
At this phase of life, what I'm impressed with and what I'm encouraged by is the fact that we have young adults that are walking this earth that are able to carry whatever torch that we feel that we're lighting, whatever good, whatever goals that we choose to put forward, that there's somebody else that's seeing that and is able to carry it and continue to take it on. So that is very, very encouraging. The other part of that is just sewing in to you, Jordan, with all that God has given you. Do not let anyone or anything disrupt, distract, detour, or detain your thoughts from what your future will hold. There is absolutely nothing that cannot be accomplished without your mind being there and the goal to put it into action. And as long as you come up with the plan, you're always going to be able to get what you need done. And so it's really a pleasure and a joy. And again, shout out to your mom and dad, shout out to grandparents, to the foundation that I know that you have around you. We talk about it takes a village, you know what I mean? And so I've seen it and witnessed it. I'm living it firsthand, and the fruits speak for themselves. You just got to talk about, bro, TJ's grades at one point.
Yeah.
But other than you and your wife, and the very few nobody would know because he's been an honor roll student for so long. Miss Jordan, honor rolls. What are your grades? What's your grades?
No, I have not gotten my GPA, but I do have mostly A's and B's, maybe one B. But in middle school, I have made honor roll, and I also have gotten recognition as a student educator because I did teach some yoga classes. So I guess that counts as
Absolutely.
I strive for that mental health. I strive for my fellow students to walk into class with a positive attitude. Now, I know it's early in the morning. I know we all don't feel like it, but I promise a smile and a good attitude will get you far in school, in class.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna end it like this, bro, and I'm gonna fade to black. Ms. Jordan, what I want you to do with all seriousness, I want you to, whoever is over that debate club at your school, find out how you can form an organization. If indeed you and your friends say, hey, let's start getting this school safety. Let's petition for the speaker that you made reference to. Let's make it to where this teacher doesn't have to go from this wing of the school all the way to the other, while there's students that might run into the crossfires because they're just going to the restroom and nobody has alerted. Or what do we need to do to move, if it's a little faster, to get the local police to dedicate one person during school hours to help us? Find out if that is indeed what you want to do. And that way I can partner with you and we can do what we need to do. Tony, he knows, you know, a lot of political people. You at one point in time were running for councilmen and things of this next. So there are things that can be put into place. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So that being the case, continue to do what you do, young lady, and we're gonna make some things happen. I'm D with Faded Black, bro. Take us out.
You know what? I'm gonna let Jordan do it. Jordan, you got a minute. Go ahead and take us home. What's your final thoughts on the night?
My final thoughts is that I've had a great time, and I've seen that Granny Shane and Catherine have tuned in. So see you guys. And I would also, because speaking on that, I would also like to dedicate this to my honors lit and comp teacher, Mr. Laird and Mr. Cody, because I've told them about this podcast and they really believe in my cause and they are ready to also help me as well to make that change. Now, of course, they're not principals and counselors, but as teachers themselves that see the damage that needs to be fixed, they are ready for it. So I would like to dedicate that to them.
Hey, Ms. Jordan, we appreciate you for your thoughts, your time. We're about to get up out of here, okay?
Okay.
Hey, y'all heard from the babe itself. Because life gonna keep on lifing, and we're gonna be here to talk about it. I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J. Still in the building, back here playing. Y'all already know what it is. Peace, love, and blessings.
Like the Life and Podcast, we gon' be here to talk about it. Yeah. With your host, Tony D and D to the J. With your host, Tony D and D to the J.